Is anybody there?
I don't like it.
Welcome aboard two vessels crammed full of history and severe poltergeist activity.
And this week I've brought Most Haunted to Dundee. We have a very difficult task ahead of us because we're investigating two locations: His Majesty's frigate Unicorn and RRS Discovery.
These two ships may be smaller than our previous investigation on board the Queen Mary, but they're certainly no less important. Both are based within a mile of each other, in and around these Tayside docks, although they did encounter very different journeys. Built between 1900 and 1901, the Discovery immediately lived up to her name by carrying Captain Scott to the West Indies and then New Zealand en route to his historic expedition into Antarctica. Eventually, 2 years on, in February 1904, the ship and its crew freed themselves of their icy extremes to return to a hero's welcome. But today isn't just about one location.
This is His Majesty's frigate Unicorn and will be the main focus of our investigation tonight.
This is the oldest British-built ship still afloat. But following her peacetime launch in 1824, she was fully roofed over, and due to the onset of steam-powered sailing, she never did get to see active battle. Her role as a frigate, though, certainly meant she contributed in other ways, hence the importance in maintaining her permanent place here in Dundee. But however impressive they seem, step inside and you're greeted by cramped and claustrophobic areas that by night can send shivers through the bravest of souls. So just how well did Stuart and Kath cope when they ventured on board the Unicorn last night? And what problems did the Discovery offer Carl and John?
How'd you feel? Apprehensive now. On deck it was quite light, and you feel, you know, we're near the centre of town, but as soon as you get in here, you think about what's actually happened on the ship, where it's been, you know, the stories that it could tell you, and it's probably where ghosts live. This is probably where they are. Thanks for that.
These cabins. Oh.
What the f*** is that?
Oh, shit. That scared the shit out of me. How about you and I go into one of these and lay on a bunk bed?
Right. There's a step there. Watch your step. On that. Go on, you go through first with that. Right, let me go through first then.
If you leave me, I will never speak to you again in my life.
Right. What was that? Kath?
I don't know. Stuart,
A stone's just been thrown. Stay there.
no,
Kath!
if you leave me, I will go mad.
I'm not leaving you.
Here you are, where are you going?
I was just going to nip to the top
No,
of...
you are not leaving me down here.
Come, if you're here, if you're still here, show yourself to us. That's Dave.
Is there anybody there? Who's that? Is there anybody there?
You always think there should be... Can you hear walking? Yes. But we're the only ones on the ship. Can you hear walking? Yes.
I want airlifting out. I'm not moving.
You're going to have to go forward then, sweetheart. I can't do everything.
Stuart, I don't... Right, that's it. I'm going.
No, Kath, just stay.
I can't stay in it.
Can't go out that way. Right, you're going to have to let go because if you carry on, Kath, I'm going to slap you in a minute.
No, he's going to leave me.
I'm not going to leave you. Get up.
4 investigators who are already aware of the dangers that lie in wait. So all looks very promising for the night ahead.
This is extremely exciting for me. This is the first time that we've done ships since we did the Queen Mary. We're here for 24 hours and we've actually got 2 locations, 2 ships, the Discovery and the Unicorn. I'm actually standing now on the deck of Discovery, probably somewhere where Captain Scott actually stood. To me, just the event of actually being on a ship that is world famous is enough. And the fact that it's also haunted obviously makes it even more exciting.
Ghostly footsteps are often heard throughout the whole ship. Some people believe that they could belong to a crew member that sailed with Scott to the Antarctic. Others believe they could belong to a young man who fell to his death from the crow's nest.
A figure has been seen in one of the cabins. I'm told that it's the cabin of a guy called Skelton, but I've also been told that the names have been changed. Ernest Shackleton, one of the 3 explorers with Scott and Wilson, has also been reputed to be seen standing in the wardroom by the chair that he used to sit in.
The ghost of a little boy has been seen in many parts running around the ship. Ghostly shadows have also been witnessed in the lower decks. But perhaps more alarmingly is the ghost of a young sailor who is so vivid that people stop and talk to him.
And of course, the other ship that we have to investigate in the 24 hours is the Unicorn. It's actually the oldest British warship still afloat.
Many people feel uncomfortable on the gun and orlop decks. They sense that somebody is watching them when there's no one here. But it's the heavy-booted footsteps and the dark, shapeless figures that seem to scare people the most.
As far as we know, there was only 1 death associated with that ship, when one of the ship keepers actually fell down the stairs near the boiler room, died, and was found the next morning.
Poltergeist activity is rife in this particular part of the ship. Heavy objects and display cases are thrown across the floor when there's no one here. So scary is the Unicorn that some staff members refuse to come aboard alone, and this shop area is just one of many reasons why.
With so many decks to cover, we'll all need to be on our toes to capture as much evidence of supernatural existence as possible, which enables paranormal investigator Steve Parsons to get involved at every opportunity.
Where would you think the most active place or the most scariest place on the ship will be tonight, on this ship?
I think the lower down we go, the more unusual the environment starts to look and starts to feel and look more uncomfortable. But in actual fact, the higher up in the ship we go, there are more reported incidences of paranormal phenomena, but culminating on this deck that we're on now.
Now, how is it going to work? Because, of course, we're going to be investigating the other ship, Discovery, later on. But this is going to be our main focus. I think it deserves it because of its history, because of what it stands for. How is that going to work in your eyes? Because, of course, we're going to have to split up, and there's going to be a lot of toing and froing, travelling, collecting all the data. It's going to be one busy night.
It's going to be an exceptionally busy night. The 2 ships are nearby, but there is a distance between them. And I think it's going to be quite a logistic difficulty for us. Plus, there's going to be people are going to go from one environment to another. It's going to be an exceptionally busy night. The 2 ships are nearby, but there is a distance between them. And I think it's going to be quite a logistic difficulty for us. Plus there's going to be, people are going to go from one environment to another with a very short period in between. And there may be effects that would have on the crew.
Discovery, what sort of things impress you about that particular location in the realms of paranormal?
I think for me it's history, and particularly one incident where it was trapped in the ice for 2 years. The emotions, if we go back to this recording idea, the intense emotions that the crew must have experienced being trapped so far away from home for such a long period of time. If emotions can be recorded by the environment, then there must be a set of circumstances there.
Two ships with two very different stories. So what would our medium David Wells make of RRS Discovery and HMS Frigate Unicorn?
One has clearly fallen from one of these masts. It's like it's slow, and then all of a sudden it's... The first thing that actually hit me was the smell of blood. I tell you what I can actually smell is a rotting piece of flesh. There's like a caretaker of the ship, like a custodian. One's a dark shape. There's an anger for me, and he's a stomper. He's shadowing light. He's shadowing light. It's really... Oh my God, what's right by us?
Today, Most Haunted are investigating a ship that steered its crew through icy waters to worldwide acclaim, and a frigate that saw its own austere account of wartime action. Both still stand here in Dundee, but are their former occupants still haunting these decks? So with medium David Wells ready to begin, it was time to explore the upper deck of the RRS Discovery.
There's a couple initially, I'm picking up on a couple astrals initially. One has clearly fallen from one of these masts.
Really?
It's a smash, because I can feel the impact on his body. I can feel that. It's almost like you feel that slow motion, and then I can feel it's like it's slow, and then all of a sudden it's whoop, and I can feel the whap on the floor.
And who would that have happened to?
It's one of the crew, but I haven't got any names just yet, and I think it's from the middle.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? It's quite descriptive.
When would this have happened?
Early 1900s, okay. I would say. I think maybe rope wasn't attached, or... Do you know what I mean? Because you would take safety precautions.
It was an accident, yeah.
Yeah, it was an accident, but I think it's might even been his own fault. When you walk in here, the first thing that actually hit me was the smell of blood. They would have carried a surgeon, they must have done.
I presume so.
I guess they must have done. That's what it feels like.
Right.
It almost feels like that.
In this particular area?
Yeah.
That's weird.
I tell you what I can actually smell is... not mixed with the blood is like a putrid smell. It's almost like a rotting piece of flesh. So if someone had an appendix out, you could imagine. I can only imagine the stench that must come off something like that. Yeah. It's that kind of horrible stench. You know.
Richard, is this something that would have happened? Or?
Yeah, it's absolutely correct. This is the wardroom, the office where the officers were, but it was also doubled up as an operating theatre.
What about activity? What about haunting? Can you pick up on anybody in here?
Our friend from upstairs isn't here. He doesn't feel as if he's here. There is one character wandering around, and you're kind of loath to say, you know, it's one of these jobs. I think it might be either Shackleton or Scott.
All right.
But those are names I kind of recognise from that genre. But I'm going to stick my neck out and say that Mr. Ponytail is the same man who's Mr. Dark Force.
Oh, this isn't Walker, is it? This is...
No, I think it is. I think he's the same two. I think he's the same person. So he's gone away, come back, but always, for some reason, had a huge affinity with this vessel. I think he was probably at some point in command of this ship, which is odd to be in command of a ship that doesn't go anywhere, because it just feels like it's never gone anywhere. Do you know what I mean?
Is it worth actually asking this Walker?
Yeah.
If he's here, and to maybe make a noise, or
Yeah,
not?
we can ask him.
Yeah.
Were you commander of this ship? Was it in the 1880s? It's interesting to me that I am convinced, for whatever reason, he's presenting as both these people. And it's almost as if there's the friendly face and the threatening face, and I guess in any kind of negotiations there is that, you know, that duplicity. So he's shadowing light. He is shadowing light. It's really... Oh my God, that was right by eye. It's really mad. Yeah. Wow.
How many spirits are here now with you in this ship? 5. So it's promising for later on, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, and that name, Richard, just to confirm, Commander Walker.
Yeah, absolutely right. The 1880s.
Really?
He was commander of this ship, and highly likely that he could have been here earlier.
I'm actually aware of a child in the whole place as well. There's a small boy, but...
And what would he have been here? What would he have done?
He's not. He's attached to one of the other Astrals. He's attached to one of the...
Oh, so he wouldn't have been connected to the ship?
Not even connected to the ship, no. Just attached to one of the Astrals, yeah.
How does that work? I've never heard of that.
Well, just coming backwards and forwards with them, I suppose.
Any name with the boy?
Thomas.
Thomas.
Would they be related?
Yeah, oh, definitely. It's father-son, definitely. Definitely father-son.
So, with 2 separate ships to explore, we knew time was of the essence, although we were able to hear what guest medium Ian Shillito suspected, that the Unicorn may throw our way tonight.
You've had a chance to look around the ship. What sort of activity do you think that we're going to get here tonight, here on the Unicorn?
I think you're going to get a lot of things moving, because there's a lot of prompts in here and stuff you can move. I mean, the lamps over there and stuff, there's some... I think you're going to get a lot of knocks, you're going to get the usual spirit rapping and stuff. But I think there's a lot of props here you can use to bring into the seances and stuff. I don't think there's anything, and you'll be very happy, I don't think there's anything untoward here.
But there's definitely activity here.
I think there's activity here, yes, definitely.
So something to look forward to.
Fingers crossed.
Okay.
Both of these museums contain artifacts that relate to their varied existence and adventures. And with so many men having walked these decks, would any able shipman choose to join us as Most Haunted journeys into the unknown?
Is anybody there? Oh!
Welcome back to the Dundee quayside, where 2 of Britain's most extraordinary sailing vessels have come to rest. Both the RRS Discovery and the HMS frigate Unicorn are not only renowned in their own right, but as you may well have guessed, we're here because both of these boats may well be haunted.
Is anybody there?
With Tayside now cloaked in darkness, Carl and John were once again the first to step forward and test their resolve back on board the Discovery. The very same place that had them spooked 24 hours before.
Shit, it's eerie, isn't it?
Oh, no! What the f was that? I'm going to put the torch.
Put the torch on, put the torch on. These are all anchored back, the door. No way.
What? That was locked. I couldn't... There's another dummy there.
Let's get this way, come on.
Joking.
No, I've just opened. You've just seen me open it, haven't you?
Yeah. Is there anybody there? Is there anybody there?
Yeah, it's like...
Somebody in there, Carl.
Yeah, but I can't open the door. You saw me open it a minute ago, didn't you?
Yes, I tried to open it and I couldn't.
I cannot open that. Look, I'm actually turning it. I'm definitely turning this lock. Look, you can see me turning it. Oh, I can't open it. Can we get out another way?
I've got no idea. I've never been in there before.
That door's opening. The door's opening. That door has just opened. I know. I've just seen it. It was closed. It was definitely
It was closed. I was just stood right next to it. Is there anybody here?
You right, John?
Yeah.
What the was that?
Is that? Hello? Oh my...
That was locked. Oh, that. Shh. Hello? Oh no! No, oh, no, I'm going this way. I'm going out.
Their time along the mess deck hadn't settled either Carl or John's nerves on their return to the Discovery. But what could the rest of us expect from the Unicorn? This ship's upper deck is a cold and lonely place where a male apparition has previously left staff shocked and stunned. Would medium Ian Shillitoe, Steve Parsons, John Gilbert and I encounter this infamous spectre?
That's definitely
It's the
natural.
gangplank, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. Oh, I've just heard movement coming right from the top there. You know, almost as if someone was walking. Yeah, I think so. Oh. Please give us some sort of sign. Can you knock? Make a noise or walk towards us? Did you hear that? Did you hear it? That was a footstep.
Yeah.
That was a footstep, like a hard-soled shoe or something. Make a noise or walk towards us. Did you hear that? Commander Walker, are you here with your son, Thomas? Who's move your feet then?
Nobody moved.
Right, I heard.
Yeah.
It was like, you did hear it, didn't you? It was like a shift of a foot, but like a,
Like
again,
leather.
the hard leather
Yeah, that's what I know.
foot.
Yeah.
Commander Walker, if you are here with us now...
Oh, there's just a rush of cold air just comes straight at me. Can anyone...
Stop.
Can anyone...
Stop. I tell you what, I mean, we all heard it, didn't we?
Yeah.
It sounded to me like someone running towards us.
It did.
Yeah.
That's what scared me. It was something running towards us, little pip, pip.
Yeah.
The Unicorn had really grabbed our attention with these very distinctive footsteps. So much so that paranormal investigator Steve asked Richard to join him on another vigil along this same deck. But we hadn't yet given up hope of capturing similar sights or sounds over at the Discovery. And when you find yourselves on board a ship that once carried some very notable names, it seemed only right to try to contact them. But a century on, would our heroic polar explorers still be able to hear or even respond?
Sir Shackleton, if your room is here, your cabin, please could you knock on the door of where it is so we can see? Maybe we could go to your cabin? Maybe slam the door or do something?
What is that?
It's a peg!
I don't think it's a peg.
What is it?
It's a toggle off a duffel coat.
So what? Oh, a button off a duffel coat.
Oh, wow.
That's an apple.
It is an apple, isn't it?
That is it. Well, that is, or is that something else?
Is that from him?
Well, I guess they would have worn these, wouldn't they? They would have worn.
Of course, yeah.
Let's have a feel and see if you can... Thank you. Sir Shackleton, could you tell us, is there a young man with you called Charlie Bonner?
Oh!
Sorry, I'm just trying to...
I thought so.
It just came close to me. I was just sort of trying to get it away, really.
Thank you, Charlie. Thank you.
I don't like that at all.
Well, we can't move. There's the chairs are bolted, aren't they?
I'm going to throw an object on the floor, Charlie. Do you think you could give an object back to us? Here it is. This is something of mine.
Oh, yes.
What's that?
Oh,
The dice! Oh, that is amazing.
that is fantastic.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. And it's not warm. Charlie, thank you so very much.
Commander Walker, are you in here with us now? Bloody hell, that was something walking. Isn't it?
It's very strange noise.
It came right down the right-hand side of this ship, but seemingly not on the inside.
We just got a very strange noise.
That sounded to me like small feet padding down the deck.
Yeah, it did.
Can you do it again?
What's just gone past us into that corner? You called it.
Thomas? Are you literally here with us now? It's here. It was here, wasn't it?
It certainly sounded like something went past and into the corner. What's just gone past us into that corner?
We've actually had something as well. It's like little footsteps. And it's in here with us, and that time it actually went past us, didn't it, Steve?
Yeah.
It really did go past us. And I don't like it.
We should go and sit in that cabin there.
Yeah.
Just show the torch. It's not warm. Oh, it's a piece of wood.
It's a block of wood.
What was
It's
it?
just a block of wood.
Oh!
What was that then?
Bang, right there.
No, it's a bang right there.
Right there, but no, that was a real crack. Something.
It was thrown.
What was that?
What was that? I had bottles chinking.
I
Yeah,
did, we
too,
heard
over
that.
there.
It's bottles.
It's those bottles.
It's
isn't it?
bottles.
Bottles.
There's bottles in this room.
It's the only place there is bottles.
Something.
It was thrown.
What was that?
What was that?
There.
that room
Yeah, there
through
is
there.
there, yeah.
Nobody came from in there.
It did sound like it came from
Yeah,
through
but
there.
doesn't it link across? Isn't there?
Yeah, there is, yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe the sound's travelling across.
This is fantastic.
Come and sit with us. Join us at the table. We're respectful of your place, of this ship. Please, come and talk to us some more.
What was that?
Oh my God, it's huge!
Whatever it was.
It's a thingy! It's a rope!
A what?
It's a rope thing! That's fantastic!
What goes in the pulley, isn't it?
Yeah! Oh my God! And it's not warm at all.
Had we all just witnessed a first? Past investigations, over 100 of them, has seen the occasional stone or piece of metal descend upon us in response to our attempts for poltergeist activity. But have such personal items ever been thrown back at us? And far more worrying is that each object seemed to be getting larger, heavier and therefore more dangerous to those in the firing line. And our final hours on both of these ships still had many more frights in store.
Okay, did you just say that? Yeah.
Despite enjoying contrasting roles during their time at sea, the RRS Discovery and the HMS frigate Unicorn now share an unusual bond. They stand less than a mile apart along Dundee's quayside and attract a wealth of visitors. But how many people step aboard knowing that both ships are said to be haunted? And with our crew feeling that we'd only touched the surface so far, David, Carl, John and I head back to the Unicorn to see if any other crew members may still be playing out their past down below decks.
Sorry,
Yeah.
was that you, Carl?
What was that? Oh, no, it wasn't. Carl's here. He's not moving.
Sorry.
It wasn't Carl.
Something's just been thrown.
What? You were watching me?
Yeah, I was right in
No,
front.
no, there's something was thrown, wasn't it, John?
Yeah. Over there.
No, but here's
Carl was
somewhere.
right here, completely.
You know, because it's really going to be easy to get out of here in a rush, isn't it?
Is there anybody here? Any spirit people?
Ooh.
What's up, David?
Oh, he's a bit
What?
on me. He's a bit on me.
Who is he?
Back. I
Who?
think it's the caretaker. Come on, if you don't want us here, then bloody well
Careful.
let us know.
No way.
Hell. Behind you.
Okay.
That was heavy.
Shit.
Better wood.
I can't see anything.
I can't see where that's come from.
No, there's nothing. Is there anything on the floor?
No.
What? There must be. There must be.
Be.
There's someone moving up there.
Hello?
Oh, that's me. That's me.
What's it?
That's me, Dad. I've seen the torch.
There is something on those stairs.
I'm never going to get out.
If there's anybody at the top of the stairs, do something so we know you're there.
That's like there, isn't it? That's like there, isn't
It may be the oldest British-built wartime vessel still afloat, but we were now more excited by the paranormal phenomena that had been captured all over the Unicorn. It persuaded John and I that this had to be the place to stay for one final vigil. But how much more could either of us take as we return to the mess deck?
I suddenly got a cold blast of air there, coming towards me. Hit me on my hand first. Yeah.
What was
I'm going to throw something. Could you please copy me and throw something back? Oh, a couple of light anomalies, but I... You are, Jim. Thank you very, very much. Thank you. We don't know who we're talking to. We think it's Thomas, we're not sure. Maybe it's not Thomas then. How nervous are you?
If it's Thomas, I'm not nervous.
Okay.
If it's a little boy.
Excuse me?
Okay. Did you just say that over there? Yeah.
Okay. How nervous are you? You got a mobile phone on you? I'm serious. Get Carl.
The cold blasts of air and the noises that were a little close for comfort forced our hand. We simply didn't feel safe and phoned Carl to come and help us.
Okay, will you come down and get us? I feel ridiculous asking you to do it, but will you come down and rescue us? Yeah, yeah. Okay, we're alright.
And although it may have initially seemed a cowardly act, we didn't care. John and I were scared, and things weren't about to get any easier either.
Throw again and see if it comes back. And we... Please, whoever you are, if that's Commander Walker, can you throw it back? Thomas, we're going to throw it again. There you go. Is it Thomas? Is it Thomas? We're trying to work out who it was.
How can you two be so calm about that?
We weren't. That's why we've called you.
You're here now, but I do feel a lot
We
calmer
couldn't.
now
We
you're
wanted
here.
to get up because it's time for us to come back, but we haven't been able to. We had these great big biscuits thrown back at us. There's one on the floor there. Get your torch on there. These are the things that were thrown back at us. Okay. Let's see. Right, try it again. I'm trying to get it in shot.
Going to throw something out to you, please throw it back.
Okay, throw it in the direction. Can you throw it back? Go on, one last time. Oh, it came back. It came back at exactly the same time that I said one last time.
Well,
it's
I've
here.
thrown one right over
No,
there.
I saw you. I've got your hand in shot, but it's come back. It's here. Can you see it?
That's the first one I threw.
Yeah.
That's the big one, isn't it?
Yeah. I'm just going to try this. This is silly, but you never know. What I'm about to throw, can you throw it back?
What was that?
What's that? That
Something
came
just
towards
landed
us.
right between us. There it is.
Can't see it. Oh yeah, got it.
Right, the rope. Someone's leaning on the rope.
It's Ben, yeah.
It's straightening.
Oh! Shh! Calm down, calm down, calm down. Calm down. This is fantastic phenomena. Is it lifting on its own?
Oh, shit.
Stay.
I don't want to stay.
No, I don't want to stay.
Oh, that's amazing. I call that bending.
The tables on this deck are a simple swing-type style design, consisting of pieces of rope holding up a wooden plank. So when the one right in front of me appeared to buckle under someone's weight, we felt that some things were getting a little out of hand. Yet more mayhem was about to ensue. As we were leaving, Carl returned the rope I had thrown earlier back to its rightful place on the table. But seconds later, and with all three of us now across the room, this same rope landed near our very feet.
Whoever it was really kind of wanting to... Oh my... You did in the table, yeah. I've got it.
And with all the other crew members accounted for elsewhere, the Unicorn's mess deck had provided us with a fitting finale.
Hello?
For the skeptics, you'll probably think that this was faked somehow, but we're sorry to tell you, all the footage you have seen is real. And having now had time to rationalise all of the events that were captured on film, are we all still agreed that the RRS Discovery and the HMS Frigate Unicorn proved to be worthy of a paranormal investigation?
This investigation presented additional difficulties and challenges for the crew. Split as we were over two sites, some distance apart. My best personal experience of the night took place on HM Frigate Unicorn during a vigil with Richard Felix. And intriguingly, we did seem to hear what I can only describe, or best describe, as being like the footsteps of a child running along the bare wooden decks toward us.
What's just gone past us into that corner?
During a vigil session conducted by Yvette and John Gilbert, they decided to throw a number of objects, including ship's biscuits, lengths of rope, and a cat of nine tails out into the space around them.
I'm going to throw something. Could you please copy me and throw something back? Oh, a couple of light anomalies, but You are, Jim.
Now, as an investigator, I find this particularly intriguing and quite challenging too. I would have preferred perhaps the introduction of some controls, for example, marking of the objects, to be absolutely sure that the same objects that were being thrown out were the objects that were being returned. This sort of phenomena is associated with paranormal activity. One explanation for it might be, for example, psychokinesis. This may be focused on members of the crew, their own energies being used or manipulated to cause objects to move.
I know the skeptics will say...
That's... Turn the camera on me a minute.
Yeah.
That's paranormal.
Thanks for joining us for a Most Haunted First, where fear and enjoyment were all rolled into one. We shall see you next time very soon for another Most Haunted.
Seriously scary. Now, if you can't get enough of Most Haunted, you can now catch it anytime you like, either by logging on to livingtv.co.uk to download episodes, or digital and cable viewers can find it on your on-demand service. And make sure you check out the website for full details of how to buy Most Haunted Series 6 Volume 2 on DVD. Next night, stay with us as we search for Mr. Cruel in Sensing Murder.